What is up? You can see I have in front of me the brand new Glock 30S, which is sort of a hybrid between the ever popular Glock 30 and the slimline Glock 36. 45 caliber, 45 ACP. They call it a subcompact. It's not really subcompact, but they call it that. 45 caliber handgun. This one has got the slim frame, or the slim slide rather, of the 36 with the chunkier frame of its cousins, the 29 and the 30. I guess a 30 would be its brother, to hold 10 shots. So it's a great idea. It's been kicked around and tried by quite a few people on the Glock forums over the years, and I've heard that it's worked okay. But you know, I'm not one of the people who would go out and switch slides and frames and try to put together guns. That scares me a little bit. I'd like to just use them as they come from the factory. So when this Glock 30S came out, I've been looking for a good excuse to buy a 45 caliber Glock, and when I saw one in the local gun store, I decided today was the day. So I picked it up, and I haven't shot it yet. I'm looking for time that I can get out and shoot. It's a little hard here in Utah now that they've closed down the deserts, even in the middle of the winter, thinking that we're going to start a fire, but that's another subject. So as you can see, it's a Glock. Looks pretty much like the rest of them. This is just a little more convenient package than you've seen in the past as far as the 45 ACP goes. I think it's a great idea, and it might just put the 30 out of business. I will show you a few comparisons to some of the other Glocks that I've got here and help give you enough information that maybe you can make a decision on whether this is something that you want to carry, if you want to sell or put away your 26 or 27 or 19, 23, 30, whatever else you're carrying, and put this one into the rotation. But I guess we don't need an excuse to buy more Glocks, right? We can never have too many. At least that's what I tell my wife. Anyway, I will show you here how this one stacks up to the rest. I don't have a 30 or a 36, but I've got a 29. And I will give you the dimensions next to the 29. The big difference, as I said, is the width of the slide here. And I will grab my Glock 29. I was lucky and got one of the sweet OD 29s back in the day. This is the same. The 29 has the same specs as the 30, so hopefully you can get a little better idea. So there you see it. You can't really tell from above, but basically they put the slide on a diet. That's a little better shot. You can see how much wider that slide is on the 29, and that'll be the same as the slide on the 30. Quite a bit thinner. Now if we move down to the frame, zoom out here, the frame is the same, or very, very close. The only difference you're going to get right there in the slide, and I wish I had some calipers that I could show you, but I don't think it really matters. You know, you people aren't too concerned about that. Hold that right up next to each other, and that's a significant difference, and that makes a big difference when you're carrying, and it makes a difference in the weight. The unloaded weight of the 30S is 20.28 ounces according to Glock. Unloaded weight of the 29 and the 30 is 24 or 24 point something. So you're saving about 4 ounces in weight with the empty gun. Now if you go from a 36, the weight of the 36 is just about the same, interestingly enough, 20.11 ounces. So I don't know how they do that, but the weight of the 36 and the weight of the 30S are about the same. So if you've got a 36, you might want to consider the upgrade. Get 4 more shots, 10 shots in the 30S versus the 6 and the 36. So let me grab a couple of the other guns that I've got sitting here, show you the difference. A lot of other people will compare it to the smaller, the real subcompact Glocks, the 36, or excuse me, the 26 and 27. Here's my Glock 26. I've also got a 27, but it's same size. So there is a difference in the size. I can give you the numbers. I've got them here. You probably don't really care. Again, this is the 26. The 19, of course, will be the same size on the width of the frame. Back them up. Now when you look at the width on the Glock website, it tells you the overall width I've discovered, and that is the widest part of the frame. So on this 30S, that thickest part comes right through here in the frame. It's still got the thick frame on it. You can see it sticks out a little bit on the side. So I didn't get a measurement of the width of the slide itself, but hopefully this will give you enough information. Going to the bottom, or the grips of these pistols, there is a significant difference in the grip length. I've got the measurements here, but I would eyeball it and say you've got about a little over ½ an inch. And the grip width on the 19, 26, 23, 27 guns is going to be a little slimmer. You don't have to pack those fatty 45s in there. Both of these handguns would hold 10 shots, by the way, the 26 and the 30S. Length of the slide. If you're carrying one of these little guys right now, you can see the length. 26 length is 6.3 inches. 30S is 6.97. So just a skosh under 7 inches long. Does 0.7 inches make a difference to you? Yeah, maybe. All of these are pretty close. And it's fun to compare them and figure out exactly which one works best for you. So let me put this one aside and I'll grab my 19. I've got to be careful when I've got this 19 because I've got skateboard tape, grip tape all over the sides, and it scratches up my other guns. You can see we just did the width comparison. It's about the same. Another sweet OD gun, by the way. Now when you stack up the 19 versus the 30S lengthwise, they are very close. So that shouldn't be a concern. I've heard that you can use the same holsters for these guns, but that's true in some cases, but not in others, and I'll show you that in a second. Length, those two. Even those up. Again, the 19, the 9mm and the 40s are going to be a thinner grip. I prefer, by the way, the Gen 4, and this 30S is a Gen 3. They don't have the Gen 4 out there yet. So, you know, it is pretty close. Almost exactly the same size as far as the length goes. That's the 19 on top. Stack them on top of each other. Yeah, that's a good view, isn't it? And you can see, you know, the trigger guard, everything else, the rail matches up. The grip length is slightly longer on the 19. So again, is it worth it for you? Do you want to carry a 45 caliber? Do you want that big hole or the 9? So if you buy this, will it fit your holsters? Yeah, maybe. What do you have? You know, one of my favorite holsters is the King Tuck, or this style, cross-bead King Tuck, this type of holster. So the benefit of this is that you've got the leather on one side and the Kydex on the other. It will, as Hickok showed us, fit. That gives you a good fit. The extra width of the grip and the frame doesn't interfere. You know, you've got the flexibility in the leather there. So if you've got a holster like this for your 19 or 26, 23, 27, it will work just fine if you've got leather mixed in the equation. Here's another one. What is this? A Blackhawk. Just a simple leather belt holster. Fits in there. Okay. Here is a holster from Raven Concealment. It is a complete Kydex holster made for the 23, 19, 26, 27 size Glocks. it's not going to fit in there. The frame is just too thick. Just a skosh thicker than those guns. The slide works, but the frame's not going to work. It won't go in there. And that's the same if you've got, you know, like something like this paddle holster from Galco. You're not going to get a good fit. So, if you've got a leather holster or a holster with leather components, you should be okay. Another example, like these Blackhawk, I think these are the Serpa, is that what they call them? Yeah, that's not going in there. This one's for the 19. Here's another question. Here's the Blackhawk holster made for the 30 or the 29. How does it fit that? Okay, but you know, I would be okay with that. It's a little loose though. You might just want to wait till they make one custom for that. It fits the frame perfectly, but you've got the wiggle room of the slide there. So, bottom line there, go with one that's got a leather component, half leather, or all leather if you want it to fit well with your 30S. So should you buy it? Well, only you can answer that. Do you want it? I did. I don't need it, but I wanted it. It's cool. Do you have a 30? You know, if you have a 30, this is a worthwhile investment, I believe, just because it's thinner. You know, unless you've got to buy a whole new set of holsters and whatnot. But your magazines will fit from the 30. You'll lose a few ounces in the slide and the width. A little bit more comfortable for you. From a 36, do you want to upgrade? Well, you know, the width of that grip, how important is that to you? Do you want to carry 4 more rounds? You know, 10 versus the 6 of a Glock 36? Up to you. You know, lots of times I carry the Glock 26 or the Glock 27. You know, those are some of my favorites, and they're small. You know, they're smaller than this gun. And so, again, I think it boils down to, in this case, if you want to carry the 45. I recently reviewed the XDS from Springfield, and that's a lot like this gun. The width is even a little thinner. It's 1 inch, but it only holds 6 shots versus the 10 shots that this one's got. It's closer to the 36. You know, but if it's me, I sold that gun. If that tells you anything, I just prefer the low bore axis of the Glocks, and I love the Glock trigger reset. Is it going to replace my shield as my daily carry? No, probably not. I still think the shield has the best combination of the attributes I'm looking for in a concealed carry weapon. But if you know, this might be just the ticket, or you might have been waiting for something, or you might have Frankensteined your own. So there you go. Glock 30S.